how have you balanced all the businesses you have, the competing you've done, and family, right? Because we were talking, earlier that family is incredibly important, and it's not the thing in the way everything else is, right? So,
Well, so one thing that I did pretty early on when I quit teaching, I realized, okay, well, now if I'm going to do this business thing full time, I better figure out what the fuck I'm doing.
mhm,
Right. And that was like a very real thing. Where I'm like, all right, I guess better figure some stuff out. So I started, reading different books and checking out different things. Um, and so one of the things I did is I hired a business coach and I hired Craig Ballentine. I'd read his book previously, or one of his books previously, or at this time, maybe I only had one out. Anyway,
look,
read his, read his book. It's called The Perfect Day Formula. And it's about how do you balance all your shit you got going on as an entrepreneur, right? Like you need to be performing at a high level. And it's hard to do that if you know that you're ignoring other parts of your life and other things going on. And so how do you, grow a business? How do you, maintain, balance with your family and, make sure the main thing stays the main thing. Right. And so then I read his book and then I actually I got introduced to a couple guys. They're like mutual friends. And so then I end up talking to him a few times. We kind of become friends. I end up hiring him. And so some of the stuff he teaches are just huge, right? And actually, he has another book, The Perfect Week Formula,
mm,
which kind of applies here a little more. So, well, I mean, we just do this real quick. So something that, and I've given this framework to different people before as well. And again, it's in his book, The Perfect Week Formula by Craig Ballentine.
yeah,
So how you set it up is you pull up your schedule for the upcoming week. So on Sunday, so you can do this. So first thing you do on Sunday is you make a list, like a to-do list kind of, right? But yeah, let's go that way. To make your to-do list, right? Then you take that to-do list and you put them in order of importance. What is the number one important thing that needs to get done this week, right? Or what are the things that I know I don't want to do that I like? What's the thing that's been kind of lingering, right? Or that whatever, right? So you put them in order of importance. And then you put that list off to the side. Then you pull up your calendar for the week and you have a blank slate, blank calendar. Then the first thing you put in that calendar is family obligations. If you say, I'm going to be home at dinner at 5 o'clock every night, then you put in there from 5 to 6, dinner at home. And you put that in there every day of the week. Then you go through, it's okay. Is there anything else going on? Do my kids have any soccer games? Do I need to meet with my kids' teacher? Is there whatever's going now? Maybe a date night, right? Okay, I need to put in a date night with my wife this night. Okay, boom, got that in there. And then, all right, so I got my family dinners in, I've got the kids' soccer games, I've got the date night with my wife, all those things are in there first. Then you go through and say, okay, where's the where am I going? What else makes me feel good that I just cannot forego, right? Well, I need to work out. Well, how often am I going to work out? Well, maybe I can't work out 2 hours a day for 5 or 6 days a week because I know that I don't have time for that. That's not responsible. But 4 days, if I go to my gym, if I do just a class at the gym 4 days a week, that's only 4 hours a week, plenty of time, no worries. So then you go, okay, what time am I going to go on what days? My wife's a nurse, she works nights a couple nights a week, so I can't go the day after that. So you just kind of look through there and you just plug in what days and times you're going to go to the gym. You put those in there. And then maybe, if there's something else going on, right? You got to now once that stuff's in there, then you say, okay, here we go. What time am I waking up? I'm getting up at 5 a.m. every day. Okay, well, I'm going to the 6:30 class at the gym. Actually, from 5 till 5:15 to 6:15, that is going to be the most productive time of the day for me
mhm,
because people are most creative first thing in the morning. Nothing has gotten in the way. Nobody is calling you, texting you. There's nothing that's going to interrupt what's going on. If people do call and text or email, you don't have to respond because they don't even know you're awake and you could just really get going. So then you look at your list and you say, okay, what are the most important things I need to do? All right, number one on that list, that's going in there Monday first during that first work block. Next thing down the list, Tuesday during that work block. And you just kind of schedule in. Then after that, you say, okay, well, then I'm gonna, whatever the office that I'm going into is an hour, 45 minutes away. So the commute, okay, so when I'm in there, when are my meetings? So you plug in your different things, meetings you have going on. And yeah, then you just go down that list and plug in, and you don't be a lister, be a scheduler, right? So you take that list, you go from most important to least important, and you just block in those things and schedule them throughout your week. And, if you want to leave some times open, you say, okay, well, I know I need to take some calls at one point. Thursdays, when I take phone calls, I'll take those from, 10 to noon, and then again from 2 to 4, whatever. So you kind of leave those blocked off in there, and there you go. And anything on your list that didn't get in there, it either isn't that important, right? Or you need to delegate it, right? That's when you can get into the delegate, eliminate, or technology type of thing, right? So it's like, okay, well, if I don't have time for this, I either need to not do it at all. Maybe it's not that important, or I need to delegate it to somebody who has the time capacity for it. And it's probably, if it's that far down the list, then I'm probably not the one that needs to be doing it, right? Or is there or automate it, right? Delegate, automate, or eliminate. That's kind of where you're at there. Or maybe it's like, it is really important and I'm the only one that can do it, but there's not time this week. Okay, well then we'll see where it lands next week. Maybe next week it makes the cut. Maybe it doesn't, right? And if it's on that list for 2 or 3 weeks in a row and there's not a spot for it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. So that system, I don't specifically follow that exact system every day, every week now still, because I did for a couple of years, and I have the framework of it is pretty much there. And so now I have a little bit different thing, but doing that for a couple of years kind of helps you establish patterns, helps you establish like when you're working, when you're not. And yeah, it's kind of helps you get those patterns set so that way you're set up for success. And then maybe you can take it day by day, because I already know, and in my calendar is already, from here on out, basically, like I know what time I'm going to be home for dinner, and I am every time. Right. And I know what time I'm getting up. I know what, so, but doing that for a few years, definitely there's a huge benefit.
I think there's a definite importance to having a framework. I was in sales, and for many years, I followed the same schedule, did the same thing, had to, I'd prioritize reading and kind of studying self-growth over training. And that stuck with me up until, I opened up my businesses. And, now it's like, okay, I've tried block schedules. I've tried, putting things on the calendar and sections and stuff like that. And for me, the framework is still there, but I found what's most important for me is having that task list, and then knowing, okay, family's number one. So if there's a game, or there's a, my wife wants me home for dinner, certain things like that, those get done. At the end of the day, I shut the computer, I move on, no matter if I'm finished or not. And then there's times where she understands, like, okay, I got to prioritize this meeting because this happens once every 3 months, so I think that's really cool. And that's a really good formula for that.